All right, come on in. We're gonna make an alkaline veg stir fry and wild rice. All of the ingredients are high in alkaline, so if you're feeling your body is acidic or feeling a little mucus buildup, this is a great recipe to help it increase to an alkaline state. This keeps your body healthy and prevents diseases. All right, so let's get right into this recipe. To start off with the kale, you're going to need 1 bunch of fresh kale and some spring water. For the rest of the veggies, you're going to need 1/4 of a butternut squash, 1 zucchini, red and green bell peppers, 1/2 of a medium onion, 1 teaspoon of grated ginger, spring water, and avocado oil for cooking. Now for the sauce, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper, 3 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of blue agave sweetener, 4 tablespoons of sesame oil, and 2 tablespoons of spring water. Okay, finally, you're gonna serve this on wild rice. So you're gonna wanna have that cooked and prepared and ready to go because that takes about an hour to cook. For the cooked wild rice, you're gonna need a package of the 8-ounce wild rice. I seasoned it with some bay leaves, couple bay leaves, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, and 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. All right, let's start by preparing the kale. So you're gonna remove the stems from the kale. Once we finish removing the stems from the kale, we're gonna chop this up and preheat a pan on medium heat. All right, so once the pan is hot, you're gonna add in some spring water. This is about 1 cup, but I'm gonna pour in probably about half of this, so about 1/4 cup of water. Okay, then add in your kale. Okay, cover with a lid, and we're gonna cook this for about 10 minutes on medium heat. All right, so the kale is done. I ended up adding in some more spring water because it started to scorch a little bit. So you may need to do that along the way. All right, so let's make the sauce. So we're gonna start by mixing all the dry seasonings together. So we have the onion powder, so we're gonna add in the sea salt and cayenne pepper. Okay, thoroughly mix that together. Okay, now we're gonna add in our liquid ingredients. So the spring water, the sesame oil, and you can stir while you add in the ingredients, and the agave. Okay, blend it thoroughly to make sure all the ingredients are combined. Okay, so once that's done, you're gonna set this sauce aside because we're gonna use this for the stir fry and for toppings when you're serving it. Okay, now to prepare the stir fry, we're gonna start by cutting up all of our veggies. So let's start with the onion. And you're just gonna slice it up like this. Slice it up into thick slices. Okay, set that aside. Okay, make sure you remove the cork in the middle and get rid of all the seeds. Slice this also into thick slices. Okay, you're gonna do the same thing with the green bell pepper. Cut out the cork, remove the seeds, and slice it into thick slices. All right, next we're gonna cut up the butternut squash. Squash is very tough, so you're gonna wanna make sure you have a really sharp knife and be very careful when you're cutting this. Okay, so we're gonna cut it into thick slices. We're gonna end up cutting this again, but this is a good size for now. Okay, we're gonna cut these again. Okay, this is a really good size right here. Okay, when you're making a stir fry, you wanna try and make sure all your veggies are about the same size as much as possible because that really helps making sure everything evenly cooks. So I'm gonna go back and cut some of these again so they're about the same size. All right, now finally we're gonna cut the zucchini. Okay, you can remove the ends on both sides. Okay, you can start by cutting the zucchini in half and then cut it in half again, long ways. Okay, and then you're gonna cut this into thick slices. Okay, look at these veggies. It looks so colorful. So we're gonna, so all of our veggies are all cut up. So we're gonna preheat a pan on medium-high heat. All right, so pan is hot. So let's drizzle in some avocado oil. Let's add in our onions. Okay, we're gonna mix that around. And then we're gonna add in our fresh ginger as well. All right, so we're gonna saute this until the onions are translucent and fragrant. All right, so once your onions are translucent, smelling good, very fragrant, I can smell the ginger and the onion. So we're actually going to remove this from the pan and put it in a little dish and set it aside. And then we're gonna add it back to the stir fry later. Otherwise, if you keep it in, the onions are gonna start to burn and start to lose the flavor. Okay, so next we're gonna add in a little bit of more avocado oil, just a little bit. Then you start off with the veggies that take the longest, okay, that are tough and it takes the longest to cook. So in our case, we're gonna start with the butternut squash, okay, and we're gonna turn up the heat to high. You wanna saute this butternut squash until it's lightly toasted. It's lightly soft, like barely, just a little tender, because you're gonna continue to cook it when you add in the other vegetables. All right, let's add in the rest of our vegetables. Okay, toss it around, and we're gonna add in a little bit of water. Okay, keep the heat on high, stir it around. Okay, make sure you pay attention and make sure it's not scorching. If it is, add in a little bit of extra water when needed, because you want this to cook. You can allow it to scorch towards the end, but you want to make sure the vegetables are cooked first before it starts to do that. Okay, so you're going to cook this on high for about 10 minutes. All right, so after about 10 minutes, the veggies are slightly soft, which is a good sign. You can see that some of them are a little scorched, which is fine. All right, so we're going to add back in our onions and the kale. Okay, give this a really nice stir. Okay, now most likely your sauce settled, so the oil's probably separated. So you're gonna make sure that you thoroughly mix this together again. Okay, and then pour in about half the sauce. Okay, leave the other half for serving. Okay, and stir that in. Thoroughly coat the vegetables as much as possible. Ooh, hot. Lower the heat to medium. And you're gonna cook this for like a few more minutes. Yeah, just so the sauce can get marinated within the vegetables. All right, so this is done. This is looking really good. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this off. So colorful, smells amazing. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and serve. All right, so there you go. Alkaline veg stir fry and wild rice. Enjoy.